Hello and welcome to the February-March Smart Trading Bi-Monthly newsletter. This year my newsletter videos are coming out every 2 months. My focus is to support my mastermind mentor clients and they will have more regular video updates from me. So I have a few things I want to update you on because it has been a while since my last video update. But before we get started, I just need to remind you that I'm not licensed to provide any personal investment advice. This video and all the charts and trades I share are for illustrative purposes only, and I'm just showing you how I view the current market and sharing this with you. So before we head on over to Metastock, I just want to remind you that I predominantly trade two systems. I've got my long-term weekly trading system, which is a long-only system that aims to hold shares from a few months to a few years. Now, this system started to have a lot of its trades stopped out building up to the end of last year because the markets did have a strong downturn. But this new year has been a fantastic ride back up, and I've started building into some new trades with this system. And there's been lots of opportunities to buy into shares that had fallen quite strongly last year and are now rebounding. Then I've got my medium-term daily system that trades both long and short. Now that system was mostly short end of last year, and then I closed out all my short trades just before Christmas because I was taking a break from trading. It's also a quiet time in the market usually, and that's the time when we catch up with family and have a lot of things going on. So I did start fresh into the new year later in January with this system and have mostly been long since then. And I teach all my trading strategies in the Ultimate Smart Trading Mentor course. And anybody that signs up to that course also becomes a mastermind member. So you get annual membership to the mastermind program, and that's my ongoing support program for all my mentor clients. It's one thing to do a course, it's another thing to have that ongoing support. And my goal is to continue to always support my mentor clients, and I do that through the mastermind program. So let's head on over to the markets and see what's been going on. This is a chart of the S&P 500, the US market's top 500 stocks. Now, as you know, end of last year, we started to have a big drop around September, and it continued to fall very heavily all the way through to December. It started to sort of jump around and then move strongly back up in January and hasn't looked back since. So we've really had a very strong pullback of a long-term uptrend line with the US markets. You can see this long-term uptrend line from 2009, 2011. It's got a little bit steeper in here, and then it came back to it in 2016. Then it got very steep again, and it broke the steeper uptrend lines, and it's just come back to it now and is rebounding. And we're getting back up to its highs again. So we'll be interesting to see what happens, and will it push through into brand new highs? Can it even push through the 3,000 level? Time will tell. Now moving on to the Aussie markets, because I trade both the US and the Australian markets. The Australian market, this is a weekly chart of the ASX 200. It has also pulled back to a long-term downtrend line. It's been trending very wide since 2009 with touches in 2011, 2012, 2015, and you can see how the big drop recently has fallen back. But within that very wide uptrend line, there's been some nicer uptrend channels in there. So it has had steeper trends overall before it breaks down and moves back to the long-term trend line. Then, once again, after the drop in 2015, which ended in early 2016 before it started to become healthy again, it then has broken that uptrend channel and fell below, getting to that longer term uptrend line. So it was looking very unhealthy in September, continued to fall very strongly, breaking through key support levels along the way, where it has touches there, series of touches there, new touch here, and so on, and was looking quite unhealthy, and then managed to bounce, and since the new year it has really bounced up. So I found a lot of my long-term weekly trades did hit their stops through this fall, and I ended up being mostly short in the market towards the end of the year. Now, before Christmas, I closed out all the trades that I had open with my daily swing trading system. I had about 3 weekly trades still open, and those trades continued to stay open into the new year, but that was what I was left with. Then, since the new year, I started fresh with the daily swing trading system and really started fresh with the weekly system. Was able to add on some new trades and build back into my long-term portfolio again. So that's what I've been doing for the most part of this year, since the end of January. So last video update, which I know was last year, I gave you a few short trades that I had open. And of course these are closed out because everything was closed out with the daily swing trading system on the 24th of December. That was the last trading day before Christmas. So this is Flight Centre. I had previously taken a short trade on this one when it broke down, and then I exited on a time stop. I re-entered when it gapped down and started to fall again, and then I exited as mentioned for my Christmas exit. So that second trade I held for all of 19 days, and it was a CFD trade with a 5% margin. So you can see the return I made on the margin that I had to outlay, the 5% to open that trade, and the full trade size if you want to look at your percentage return on the total trade size as well, which I think is very important, and an R multiple of 0.75 R. So moving on to the next trade, this is James Hardie. I entered short in James Hardie on the 13th of November when it broke through the support level of $17, moved very nicely, rebounded but didn't hit my stop loss because my trailing stop loss is above the share price when I'm shorting. And then I exited on the 24th of December when I closed all my trades out. It also did pay out a dividend on the 11th of December. Whenever you're short a share and it pays a dividend, you have to pay out that dividend. So that money did come out of my CFD trading account for the dividend amount on that date. But a share will always fall by its dividend amount, and I just tightened my stop loss up accordingly so I end up in the same position. So I held that for 41 days, and it was a 0.68R win on that one. I pretty much closed out all my short trades with very small profits just before Christmas. But as we know, a rebound came and eventually they all would have hit their stops anyway. But I had made the call to take a break over the Christmas period because I knew there was a couple of weeks where I couldn't look at the market. And the volume in the market usually goes quiet and drops off as well. Now I had one long trade open just before Christmas, which was Northern Star. I'd entered into it when it came up in my scan, had a beautiful nice rise, breaking above a downtrend line and bouncing off support, came up in my market scan as mentioned, entered into it. It fell back but it didn't hit my stop. Then it moved up very nicely and did continue, but I exited just before Christmas. So it would have continued and hit a resistance area before it had a very strong fall. So I was happy to be out of that one. So I held that for 18 days and it was a 0.9R multiple win. Okay, moving on to the next trade. So as mentioned, all my trades were closed out with the daily system, and I started with a clean slate in January, and I've mostly got long trades open right now. With the weekly system, I was left with 3 trades by the end of the year, and this was one of those trades. This is a share that I entered into on the 17th of August. It didn't do a great deal at first, and while the market was falling, it just went sideways. But then it took off very strongly, and my trailing stop loss has been moving up very nicely with this one. So this weekly long-term trade is still open and active in the market, and will continue to stay that way, and I will be looking for pyramid opportunities to add to this trade. Now this is another new weekly trade that I've also added to my portfolio. I entered into this one on the 15th of February. The share had been going up for quite a while, but had a big stall around 2018. Didn't go anywhere much and built up some resistance at $1.25, and then it pushed through that resistance with this beautiful candle, met all my trading rules, so I entered into it with a weekly long-term trade because I wanted to get into this share for the longer term if it's going to continue this way. And it has had quite a powerful move since I entered into it, and my stop loss has moved up accordingly. So that's a new weekly trade I've added into my portfolio, along with a few other trades as well. So I'll keep you updated on how those trades progress in upcoming newsletters. For now, if you don't have a trading plan, don't forget about my book Smart Trading Plans. You shouldn't even be trading the markets without a trading plan. And there's a lot of people out there that are, and that's one of the biggest mistakes you can make as a trader. So if you need help, my book Smart Trading Plans is there. You can buy it in bookstores or in Kindle version from Amazon, or order it off my website and I'll post it out to you. It's a step-by-step guide to developing a trading plan, and you get free book bonuses with it. So once you receive the book, you go to my website, you enter your details, and you get a free trading plan template and position sizing calculator to use with the book as well. And if you haven't been to my website before, check it out, smarttrading.com.au. Make sure you enter your name and email at the top of the web page, or if you're on a mobile it might be at the bottom of the web page, and get my free special report on the top 10 mistakes new traders make. And when you sign up to that free report, you'll also get an email when my next newsletter video goes out. So I hope you've been enjoying the ride back up in the market and adding to your portfolios. You have to take advantage of the changes as they happen. As we know, the markets can do anything. And that's why money management is so important in the market, and I spend a lot of time teaching about money management in my courses. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. My contact details are in the Contact Us area of my website. Goodbye for now.